It's a Friday afternoon. It's Studio 110 Live. The sun is creeping out here in downtown Bellevue where the show broadcasts from, so amazing. Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. I like Fridays, I like Mondays, I like every day because I'm back on the air. Took a little hiatus, took a little break after being on the air for 19 years. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't take a little break? Who wouldn't hang up the jersey and then put on a new jersey? That's what I do. That's my style. So many shout outs today, so many things to talk about today. It's Friday, weekend festivities. Got some great guests on the show. I've had great guests on the show all week. Elena Mack. Her song is almost in power rotation right here on Studio 110 Live's show. Shantae from Sneaker Wars. All the artists that stopped by today. Man, it's been a great, great week. And, we're just continuing to build and get better. And like I say, I can't wait to have it produced elements. I don't even have to say this anymore. Like a big voice guy out of LA or New York saying, follow Dirty Harry's show, Studio 110 Live, swipe up. So we need to get that produced. I know my show producer Erica is working so hard behind the scenes, making so many great things pop off around here. I'm sure you saw her amazing banner that she posted up today about the big special announcement that's going to go down on this show and this show only at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I don't care what you got going on at 3 o'clock. I don't care if it's, it could be the most important thing. Even if you're in the doctor's office, have your phone up to your ear because you're not going to want to miss it. It's a big announcement that'll affect everybody, and it's going to be a real feel-good announcement. So don't miss the big announcement today, 3 o'clock. All right, so let's get things kicked off. We're on time today. We started a little bit early today, but that's what we do sometimes on the show. Sometimes we start a couple minutes early. That's the style of what we do around here. All right, let's kick it off with our first guest in the studio from Zima Marketing. We got Ben and Brennan. Then, of course, we got our new buddy here of the show, Nick. We got a lot to talk about. Marketing affects everybody. A lot of people, got startup businesses, and they need some free counsel. They need some free advice. I'm sure my guys know that, you can talk to professionals and you'll get billed because, everybody bills these days for their time like they should, right? Like they should. I mean, that's the way America operates. But let's get this kicked off. So let's start with Ben and Brennan. Introduce yourselves for me. Get close to the mics here and let everybody know. I obviously know why you guys are in the studio with me today, and I think I made it pretty clear that you're in today to talk about a lot of marketing initiatives and everything that you guys are working on as a company. I'm excited. I'm being told through the back office here at Studio 110 Live that Nick and you guys will be back in the studio next week to make a big announcement in conjunction with this mighty master ceremony. I'm trying to think of as many words as I can combine into one sentence show. So I'm very excited about that. But today's focus is a lot of things. All the guests, Donna Matrix, local designer here in the Pacific Northwest who makes stuff for Beyonce, guys. Beyonce, Katy Perry, the biggest artist in the world, right here from the Northwest. One more reason Seattle is just on the map, emerging. My boy Walter Thurman from the NFL, played for the Seahawks, played for New York. Got a lot to talk to him about today. So it's a busy Friday afternoon show. But let's kick it off. Zima Marketing, Ben and Brennan, welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It would help if I got your mics up a little louder. So let's try that again.
There we go. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you guys coming in, and I for some reason I don't know. I get some feedback which I don't like off that microphone right there. So we may have to get you over here, which I don't prefer. But in the meantime, let's kick it off with you. And kind of give me a background on Zima Marketing and what Zima Marketing is all about. If you want to talk on that mic so everybody can hear you and see you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Harry.
Yep, no problem.
So Zima Marketing, we started about 2 years ago. Started off as a full-service digital marketing agency, servicing a lot of local businesses, mid-sized businesses, and we mainly focus on creative media and paid advertising. So we kind of started full service, but as we went on, we realized that our clients really wanted to see returns and wanted results, and the way that we could best do that quickly was through paid advertising. So that's how we kind of got started.
There you go. And, marketing affects everybody today. And I'm sure you've seen people that are, excel at it, do well with it, and some people that really need help. So, what kind of platform have you guys continued to build up for yourself and your company and your agency ultimately to be able to go in there and kind of take people's problems and reverse them to make them a lot better?
Mm-hmm. It's all about finding out where your customers are and creating content on those platforms to reach them, because if your audience is super young, Snapchat might be the way to go because they're all there. Or if you're reaching an older demographic, Facebook might be the way to go. So it's all about figuring out where your customers are, where your audience is, and then reaching them on that platform.
There you go. And so let's talk about how ultimately, to create content that people will be paying attention to for businesses or personal.
Yeah, so really when it comes to creating content, what's really important is to make sure that your content resonates with your audience. So if you don't know your audience, you shouldn't be creating content. It's also extremely important to have high quality content because it's the first impression of your business. So if you're putting out shiesty videos on your iPhone or taking photos that don't look very nice, it's really important that you invest in the ability to make nice content, just because you want people to see your value right from the beginning.
There you go. There you go. And now, how do we ultimately increase, our Instagram story engagements these days? Because really, Instagram affects everybody, and a lot of people, want to see it grow. I mean, this show has been seeing it growing, rapidly. I mean, we started with 22, and now we're up to about 2,500 real IG followers. Which is a good feeling to know that people are adapting well to the climate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really impressive. One thing that I found that works, it's kind of a little hidden trick. If you change the filter on your story every time you post, it keeps people's attention for longer.
Yep.
So you switch between kind of like the black and white and the different color combinations, and people will actually engage longer. So
Yep.
That's a good way to get that. Also, tagging events and hashtags in your stories, because then they pull up on the popular feed.
Yep.
That way you can get those organic results coming in.
There you go. So what I want to do, because we have cameras, and my producer is telling me that one of the cameras isn't getting everybody. So if you can slide down this way for me. Normally I don't do this while I'm on the air. And Nick, if you can go this way for me, and you stay there. And this way we can try to get. Let's slide down a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. How do we create an event ultimately, and sell it out in ultimately less than 60 days? And the reason I'm asking that question is we have a lot of nightlife people that listen to the show, a lot of promoters, and that's everybody's real struggle these days. I mean, you go to a lot of these one-off concerts where they get street teams and they do, banner placement and they create these videos, but they're not happy with it at the end of the day. They're not happy with the results, and they don't like the traction that's built up in terms of the empire that they built up for the event, and they're frustrated. So what are your key core ingredients to be able to sell out a concert, whether it's 200 people or 1,200 people?
Absolutely. So really the key, and we've done this a couple times already this year, selling out events with 200 to 300 people. Really what it's about is it's about sharing the event and making things shareable. So figuring out what people are interested in, what they like, and how you can make it viral. Viral is a really interesting term because it kind of means spread like wildfire. So you want to create an event that people want to share, and you want to give them an incentive to do that, whether it be some sort of freebie at the event or some sort of really great headliner opportunity to meet someone famous. That's how you're going to get people, not just saying, hey, look, we have a great concert, come out and get lit. No, it's got to be something more than that. There has to be something.
You're right. There has to be that sense of engagement built in. There has to be a backstage, green room where it's catered and there's hors d'oeuvres and there's wine, and you can either meet one of the artists or be able to get a picture or be able to ask a question. There has to be that one-on-one connection because like you said, if there's not, people will still show up, they'll buy the GA tickets, but if you want to really create that experience where they'll be going on their Instagram, their Facebook after the fact and say, hey, I met this person, I had this type of experience, those are kind of the tractions built up that people will ultimately never forget,
Absolutely.
And the next time that promoter, brings someone to town or is associated with that act, they'll remember it. So, all right, let's, it's a busy Friday afternoon show today. Of course, I got Nick, I got Ben and Brennan here from Zima Marketing. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for coming down. I've got you guys here in the studio all afternoon, but I'm super excited. Come 3 o'clock today, 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I got a big announcement that I'm going to be making on the show. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll be giving you all the proper ingredients you have to know. 3 o'clock today. Also, other guests today on the show. Walter Thurman, a previous Seattle Seahawk. Then he played for New York. Now he's got his own headphone and audio brand called Fan Stereo. We'll be talking to him about giving away some product on the show, where Fan Stereo is, where Fan Stereo needs to go, what he feels about the competition. So I'm excited about that. And then, of course, the one and only Don Mostow from Donna Matrix, an iconic, well-known, well-respected fashion designer here from the Pacific Northwest. Makes stuff for Beyonce, Katy Perry. This is the type of show we are. So we have the right people on the show. Shout out to my show producer Erica for working hard behind the scenes here to ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, really make the show look good. You know, that's what she excels at, and she, you know, just from the graphic work that she does to booking the guests to all behind the scenes. I mean, she's working on a big project too that we'll unveil next week. We'll unveil it next week. It's another huge announcement. So last time I checked, we got two big announcements. We got Nick's big announcement about the new partnership with the show in terms of everything that he's creating. And this other big announcement. So like I said, just, you know, bigger, better, bigger, better, bigger, better, bigger, better. I mean, we just on and on and on. It's like a train. You know, that's what we do around here. All right, a couple of music news stories that I'm just dying to talk about. If I have an opportunity throughout the show, I'll kind of pontificate more. But Kim Kardashian has the most conceited reason for deleting her bikini beach pictures. These came out, and a lot of people have been talking about them. So we'll try to touch on that story today. What else do we got? Eminem is serving up his mom's spaghetti. I don't really think of Eminem serving up his mom's spaghetti. What's that about? Well, that's called a teaser. So we'll try to get to that later on this afternoon. What else do we got? Kanye West's more wavy than you think. More wavy than you think. Kanye West doesn't really surprise me, but we'll see what's going on with good old Kanye West. Which hip-hop superstar bought an expensive car and then destroyed it just for a video shoot? We'll talk about that. Safari, Nicki Minaj's ex, addresses the robbery incident where he was held up at gunpoint on his way to that interview with Angie Martinez in New York. 2 guns on his head, $184,000 robbed. Talk about that today. What else do we got today? Cardi B reacts to new crushing milestone. Man. Got some great stories today at Studio110.live. Foxy Brown responds to Nicki Minaj's massive cosign. So, you know, these are stories that, you know, you'll hear right here at Studio110.live, the brand new live podcast, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. And in addition to the major announcement today at 3 o'clock, we'll be telling you not only how you can be part of it, but how you can win something in association with this announcement. So you're not going to want to miss it. That's today at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Nick, I haven't given you the proper welcome yet onto the show. Welcome to the show. It's been a pleasure, you know, sitting down with you the few times that we have here at Studio110.live's headquarters and getting to know you more and getting to know your crew and, you know, what you bring to the table and the resources that you have around you. And you got a lot on your belt, and, you know, I'm excited. I don't even really know a lot. I'm just told here from the staff that you're coming on the air with me next week to make this announcement. So I know you got some surprises that you're working on, and you know what? I love surprises. So I'm not even going to really, if it was my style to really get it out of you today, I would. But, you know, I'm a respectful guy, and I'm just not going to go down that road. So I'm going to wait for next week, and I'm sure all weekend you'll be working on that because, you know, that seems like the type of guy that you are. That'll be your priority 101 to address the big announcement that's going to be happening next week. So give me a little bit more kind of day-to-day on Nick. And kind of everything that you kind of, you know, currently going on right now in your world, which I know is a lot of things. I know some things we can't talk about, but let's talk about the things that we can talk about. So,
yeah, absolutely. So right now we're just kind of, you know, coming together, putting some stuff together for the team. You know,
talk a little closer to the mic here. Thank you.
Okay, going back and forth with you guys, just finding out some of the things you want to do. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff here for the show, which is fun. So we have a whole plan put together, and all that is going to come out next week. Going to have a couple of really big announcements for you guys next week.
Great.
Going to be exclusively here, and we're really excited about some of the stuff that we have going on, and just coming back and forth, working with you guys, and it's going to be a good time. So.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and it must feel good, Nick, to surround yourself with a great team like you do.
Absolutely.
And to know that you guys are just ultimately in the winning business. I mean, you know, you guys are in the business to win and dominate the platforms that you guys are continuing to dominate, you know, whether it's in the music business or whether it's entertainment or marketing or, you know, sales. I mean, you kind of touch on everything. So
absolutely,
it's good to surround myself and the show's brand and my brand with you guys as a collective effort, because I can really see the potential in terms of ultimately what you guys bring to the table. So
yeah, and it's just great having great people on our team, and just even these two guys right here, really awesome at what they do, and we have a lot more people that are a part of the works right now that we haven't even touched on yet. And I think together we're going to be able to do some really good work. So we're really excited about a lot of things right now.
There you go. So it's a pleasure here to have Nick, Ben, and Brennan here in the studio. Zima Marketing is headed up, obviously, from Ben and Brennan. Nick has his own lay of the land, his own projects that he's working on. He kind of heads up his own endeavors. But Zima is, and we've been talking about this for the last 15 minutes here on there. Zima is a creative media and online advertising agency, and they create content that goes viral with the intention of stimulating, I like that word, stimulating businesses for our customers. And I say for our customers like I'm part of Zima Marketing. I'm not, but I'm just kind of opening the door and creating the proper pathway here to carry on with this fine ass interview here. They focus on high quality video content, which really affects everybody today. Targeted online ads. Our agency leverages an entire team of highly specialized experts to provide the best results possible for our clients. So I want to know, so far up to date, Ben and Brennan, what's been the biggest project and the most stressful project that you guys have had to take part of so far, and kind of walk me through the timeline and where you started with that company or whatever organization you guys were tying Zima Marketing into, and the ending result. If you can kind of come closer to the mics there, or yeah, come on, Brennan, and kind of tell me about that kind of threshold, how that all came about.
So one of the projects that we've recently...
Did I stumble you guys here a little bit?
I'm just thinking.
Okay.
So we have a lot of big works going on. Currently, we represent a couple of really large companies. So Vivint Smart Home is a $2 billion company that's publicly traded, and we do marketing for them in order to put their home security and automation services into households.
Okay.
Another company we work with is Guaranteed Rate, which owns the naming rights to White Sox Stadium. So we actually do all of their marketing, lead generation for their mortgage brokers. And then a recent local project, a man named Aaron Moeller, who's here in the Seattle area, wrote a book called The Lifestyle Business Owner. He's very successful, owns 9 businesses that bring in more than $1 million a year. We advertised that book to be an Amazon bestseller.
Great.
So that was a really big project, especially because he's a local great guy.
There you go. And what was it about, ultimately, what was it about the creative media advertising marketing side that really kind of indulged you guys to kick off this new kind of venture, as you guys being Ben and Brennan and representing Zima Marketing? What was it about it? Was it just an overall frustration in terms of seeing businesses not get the gain of attraction that they deserve in those monumental efforts, or what was it? What were the core reasons that you guys wanted to kick this off?
I think it came from a number of places. My personal motivation, I started out doing door-to-door sales. I've always been a salesman. I sold life insurance, door-to-door sales, and I hate prospecting. I hate going out trying to find people who are interested. And a lot of people laugh and say, that's part of sales. Well, it's not anymore, because I use content and advertisements to get those people coming to me instead of running around chasing after them.
There you go. And and you guys sound like you're competitive at the end of the day too. Like you guys
Absolutely.
are competitive. You want to win, and you don't really take no's for an answer. All right, so let's talk about kind of local businesses here, downtown Bellevue. We're surrounded around the tech world, and ultimately kind of the recipe. And look, you guys are in the studio with us today, and we're here to give advice out. And this is really free advice, if you ask me, because like I said, if a company asked you guys to come in and put together a proposal outlining kind of your efforts and what you would do to structure them into place, just from low end to high end, just kind of give me an example of a cost, per ratio breakdown in terms of what you guys do in your services and your time, and how that ultimately transcends into money.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. So currently we actually have a small business solution, but we do work with enterprise level. So our hourly rate, if someone just wants to pay us per hour, is $300 an hour. And that's what we do when we conceive plans for people. And then when they choose to implement, we take that out of the cost of implementing things. But for small businesses, we actually have a local business package that's just $500 a month. So it's pretty cheap, especially when you look at the returns that our clients get. But we're here to help people. And at the end of the day, if our business isn't helping you, then we can't be out doing anything.
So last time I checked, then just this hour most likely would cost anybody around $300. So we're giving them $300 worth of free advice today. I like it. I like it right here at Studio 110 Live. All right, let's talk about local businesses and how to grow them ultimately. What's the key recipe to take a startup, whether it's, whatever it is, if it's a new food, food business, or if it's a food truck, or if it's a new music venue, or whatever it is, a new bar. How are you going to kind of get in there and get your hands and feet dirty?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things, and I absolutely hate this saying because it's so obvious, but people don't know what they don't know. So if you have a new business or any business and people don't know about it, how can you expect them to come and purchase from you? You can't, right? So what's important is creating content that advocates who you are, what you do, and why you are beneficial to them, and then placing it in front of the people who actually care. And that's why we specialize in what we do, and that's why you can't have videos without ads, and you can't have ads without videos, because if the video has no ad, no one sees it, then no one knows. If the ad has no video or no good content, then it's not going to do anything. You're just wasting your money on ads.
There you go. Ultimately, how do we attract and get more Instagram likes at the end of the day? Whether it's a story kind of on my format, wanting to push a story out at Studio 110.live's Instagram, or it's a company or a business or whatever prime example we're talking about. How do we increase those IG likes?
One really important thing is to let people know when you're posting on Instagram. So usually I'll do like a story post saying, hey guys, check out my profile. And I'll actually put a link to my profile in the story post so they can click it right there and see the post. Another great thing is to actually be engaging with people. So post at the times of day when people are on their phone. In the evening when everyone's going to bed, I know I for sure look at my phone before I go to bed, or in the morning as well. So that's a great time to post your photos. Additionally, tagging people, hashtagging, even just hit up your friends and say, hey guys, will you comment on my most recent post? The reason why you do this is the more activity your post has, Facebook and Instagram say, wow, people like this post. Now we're going to show it to more people for free.
Yeah. And I've been told that too, like there's really like you just mentioned, three really kind of proper ways to post these days, like around lunchtime, before everybody kind of goes on their lunch break at work, in the mornings. But really, the best traction that I've normally seen on a regular basis for when I post for my pattern is 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. People are at the house, and if they've got kids, normally they're in bed by then, and they've gotten through dinner, or they're on their way to the gym, but they're on their phone. So normally when I post at night, I see good. I see good measurements in terms of the overall likes. Once again, right here, Studio 110.live, Dirty Harry on the air with Zima Marketing, Ben and Brennan. Of course, Nick here is in the studio with us. Nick has informed me that he'll be back in with a couple of the other crew members to make a big announcement next week about a new partnership for the show, and I'm truly excited to hear kind of what ingredients ultimately is in this partnership that we'll be talking about next week. And one of the big things today is this big announcement today at 3 o'clock. Where will you guys be today at 3 o'clock? I know you guys will not miss this announcement. So where will you be today at 3 o'clock so you don't miss it?
I'll be in the building and I'll be listening.
There you go.
On my phone, live stream.
There you go. I like that. That's exactly what I want to hear. And where will you be?
Oh, same place.
Same place. And Nick, where will you be?
I'll be here.
Okay, good. And I expect next week, if whoever Nick brings in here for that announcement, to get your guys' feedback. I mean, it's all about proper opinions and proper goals. All right. How do we ultimately create content that people will pay attention to for business or personal?
Yeah, so this is interesting, and this is where I actually have a lot of fun. Some people like to some people like to kind of tiptoe around when they make their content. I think you should be polarizing. If you see the people who do the best or who have the biggest followings, typically they're somewhat polarizing, which means they identify with a concrete ideal. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not going to please everyone, and you shouldn't be out here saying things that are edgy or trying to piss people off, but doing something that advocates your identity and your brand, and making sure that when you post something, it has your personality. No one cares about bland, average, boring stuff. They want you to stand out. So be loud, have a voice, have colors, and make sure that people can see who you are.
There you go. I mean, you got to be vibrant. You got to be in their face. You got to be competitive. You don't want to hear no's. You want to translate those no's into yeses. And look, everybody's got their budgets that they can work with at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And that's what it is. It's about staying in frame, in line with people's budget, and and working accordingly with them, because everybody's kind of got different numbers. So I'm sure people come to you that say that they've got $2,500, and there's probably people that come to you with $10,000 or $15,000, and I'm sure you see the different results. And I'm sure you guys do this, and if you're not doing it, you probably should be doing it. Getting direct testimonials from other customers, talking about their experience with Zima Marketing and how Zima Marketing came in there and really kind of reshape the ultimate landscape of what you provide to your customers and to your clientele, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. All right, let's talk about how to promote music or art, which we've had a lot of artists here in the studio. We've had DZ in here. We've had Huey P in here. We've had Sir Mix-a-Lot in here. We've had Andy Stokes in here. We've had BD Miguel. I'm going to stop there because I know my phone will start blowing up and people say, "How'd you forget about me? How'd you forget about me?" Well, don't worry. If there's time, I'll continue just the music shout outs. This show is about music, fashion, nightlife, pop culture, tech.
Yes.
I was at a pizza, one of my favorite pizza establishments near the house on Capitol Hill last night, and the owner, his name happens to be Harry. And he always gets excited when I walk in, because my real name isn't Harry, but it's close to Harry. And I walked in last night. He says, "Hey, I've been checking out your new show. I think you need to do a food segment." And I said, hey, I'm already 5 steps past you. We are going to be doing a food segment and get some of the well-renowned chefs around the Pacific Northwest and some restaurant owners and some caterers around. And, what's better than getting free food in the studio? I won't have to spend money on going downstairs to the coffee shop and spending. Nick knows this. I think we went down there yesterday. I mean, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's a really good peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But Nick, what would be your opinion if you were buying one of those orange juice downstairs for $7.95? I mean, if you go to QFC or Safeway, what's a gallon of orange juice cost these days?
Just like $1 or $2, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So it must be the best orange juice, for $8. Where we broadcast from at Studio 110.live. These are the type of neighbors that we have here. This is a high class show, a high class building, and it doesn't surprise me. Not to say that I'm going to buy an orange juice down there every day, but for special occasions. When we reach new monumental grocery on the show, I'll go down and I'll buy an $8 orange juice. So all right, let's talk about. We kind of touched on it earlier, but for all the new people tuning in, especially promoters and nightlife people, how do we ultimately create an event and sell it out in less than 60 days? Now, you've been talking too much today. I don't know if you're tired or whatever. You've been talking my ear off. So I know you're both experts here in kind of your separate fields, but give me kind of your thought process on structuring an event into place, project management, event management, and how do you because this actually doesn't affect our announcement coming up, but the major announcement that I'll be making at 3:00 today will sell out. No doubt in my mind about it. But for all the other people out there, all the quote unquote competitors, how are we going to sell these things out in 60 days or less?
It all comes down to maximizing the platforms you guys have access to. So reaching all your followers, getting everyone you can to spread the word. Like Ben said earlier, giving people incentive to share it, and just hitting it hard. Advertising if you guys can, put a little ad budget behind it and boost it. So,
because honestly, nothing frustrates me more, and believe me, I understand the purpose of flyers, but I still don't understand why. And I'm not going to mention anyone's names, but I still see people like around. Belltown is an area here locally across the water from where the show is broadcasted from, and Pioneer Square and different parts of Seattle, and you even see it in other markets around the country. People are still putting the flyers on the windshields after the club gets out. I can't even tell you how many times pouring rainy night where I just grab that flyer and I just completely throw it on the ground. Yeah. I try not to litter, but most of the time I do. And I throw it on the ground and I ask myself, why aren't these people with all the good quality phones? Because, every time a new phone comes out, really, everybody knows here in this studio, there's really only 2 functionalities when they put out a new phone, the processor and the camera. Mm-hmm. They're charging, more money for these new phones, and it's really the processor and the camera. Mm-hmm. So last time I checked, why don't we start, creating these 25 to 30 second videos and putting them on Instagram, since Instagram is surpassing Facebook in many ways. And, last time I checked, I think a lot of, guys and girls want to see pretty girls. So instead of getting them on a piece of paper, why don't we start creating these videos in separate platforms where everybody can be sharing them? And I think am I correct what I'm saying here?
Absolutely. I think video is the best form of content possible. I mean, it's the most engaging. Everyone loves watching videos. You can put it all over social media. So
yeah. I mean, I'm not even part of Zima Marketing. I have some affiliation with Zima Marketing, but just kind of on a friendship level. And you guys are obviously guests today on the show. But I would think that when you guys are talking to new clients, that should be the first thing out of the gate. Like, let's create some videos, you know?
Absolutely. It always is.
And, when we're talking about creating videos, it doesn't require getting big camera crews to come out and spending thousands of dollars to do it. Nope. You can do it on a good quality phone. I've done it for years. And I see the effects. In a positive growth pattern. I really do.
Yeah. One really good tip for business owners is there's actually a tool called a gimbal. You can buy them at Best Buy, or Apple has a good one called the Osmo 2. And essentially what it does is it keeps your phone steady. So no matter what you're pointing at, if you're running, it's always going to be a smooth shot. That way you can actually have a nice clean video. And they're like $80 to $90. So it's really cheap for a business owner to pick up and be able to shoot content themselves.
Now, is that the one that you're talking about that's like a long stick and the phone is connected to it, and you just like it's kind of like it's kind of a cell phone pole?
It's like a selfie stick, but it has like a little balance in it, a mechanism that keeps everything even.
Cool. Yeah, and I've actually thought about buying one of those for myself too. How much did you say they are?
Between $80 to $100.
There you go. Yeah, I think that would be a good investment here at Studio 110 to have for all the videos that we're going to continue to put out there. All right, Studio110.live, Dirty Harry here. Check us out Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. It's a Friday afternoon. I know probably everybody's itching to kick off that weekend, whether you're going bowling tonight or going to the movies, kicking back, cleaning your house, going to a friend's house for a dinner party, going to the clubs. So much to do around here in the Northwest. And that's why I like these people, when I'm traveling and people say, like, is there anything fun to do up in Seattle? Like, are people that naive where they're so close-minded and they think that there's nothing fun to do in the Northwest? And then, of course, you get everybody, it doesn't rain there every day. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. No. It doesn't rain here every day, and our summers are amazing. I don't know about you guys, if you guys are into water sports, jet skiing, water skiing, hopping on off boats, chowing down on some veggie dogs on a barbecue on a boat. I mean, that's speaking my language come, late June till sometimes October here for summertime. All right, Zima Marketing, Ben, Brendan, Nick. Nick, what else do we need to talk about today in conjunction with Zima? Of course, you touched on the big announcement next week. Just kind of on your off time, since you're a busy guy, what are you going to be getting into this weekend, man?
Me this weekend? Oh, I'm just going to be working on these projects that we're doing.
Yeah.
Pretty much all weekend.
Is that pretty much how you are? Just, the phone blows up like, hey, man, come to Lucky Strike tonight, one of our establishments here in downtown Bellevue, good for bowling, good for nightlife. And you say, no, I mean, I got to get back on the air next week to make a major announcement. That's my focus this weekend,
Pretty much, yeah, the focus, but, I am always down for a good time, too. So we'll see how we can fit it in.
Good. It's good you have that attitude where, if you're indulged into wanting to go out, you will do it. All right. Let's talk about giving back to the community. This is very important. I've been about this my entire life, giving back to the community. And let's kind of touch on how Zima Marketing gives back to the community.
Absolutely. So recently, something Brennan and I started doing is we go to the Jubilee Center over near Bellevue College.
We just need to talk in that mic. There you go.
We actually will serve breakfast to some of the kids who are underprivileged before they go into school.
Nice.
And it's really great. One thing that I think is really important is when you start to have more than you need to provide for yourself, is you start giving back to the community and making it a habit.
Yep.
So we've been doing that once a month and looking to not only continue that, but actually grow the amount of people who do it with us.
That's great. And I read a story. Speaking of serving breakfast, there's a legendary DJ on Sirius out of New York who's investing into food trucks for the inner city schools around America, because statistics continue to come out where a lot of these inner school children aren't eating breakfast. And, it's always been classified as the most important meal of the day, especially for students. Getting a good education, trying to capture and, be able to cover the American dream. So that's really cool that you guys do that, because, that affects everybody. I mean, at the end of the day, how often do you guys do that?
We do it once a month right now.
Okay.
And we're looking to grow basically we need resources and more hands, more people to help out. So we're looking for more people to help out with that.
And let's talk about that. So people are interested in teaming up with Ben and Brennan from Zima Marketing to where are you guys cooking the breakfast? Where's it being prepared?
At the kitchen over in Jubilee.
Okay. And what kind of ingredients, what kind of things are we serving? Standard eggs, toast, hash browns, cinnamon rolls?
Pancakes, eggs, cinnamon rolls, bacon. Sometimes we do everything from cereal to pancakes. Let the kids pick what they want to eat.
Nice. So this is almost like a presidential continental breakfast.
Absolutely.
There you go. All right. So how can people reach out to you guys to be part of this, part of these efforts, to want to team up with Zima to help get in the kitchen and put the apron on and start scrambling some eggs?
Absolutely. The best way to get in touch with us would be through our website. There's a contact form, so you could send us an email through there. You could give me a call at 425-941-5817. But we're looking for people who want to serve. It's a morning thing. You got to get up early, but I promise it's worth it.
And they're going to get a free meal out of it. Who's going to turn down a free meal these days? And what time do they have to wake up to be there?
We get up usually at 4:30.
4:30.
Go do a big round of grocery shopping. Go to the kitchen, cook everything.
You're not doing that the night before, so you can sleep in a couple hours. Just be a little proactive. No.
Sleeps for the week.
So you want to get that fresh loaf of bread. I get that. When the bread delivery guys delivered at QFC and Safeway, you want to be first in line. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. I like fresh bread too on a Sunday morning. And speaking of Sunday morning brunch. I have two staples here, and once again, for the people listening out of state and internationally, they'll have no relation to this, but this is a spot in the Mount Baker neighborhood of Seattle called the High Spot. Used to be an old house that the owner converted into an amazing breakfast spot on weekends, and probably one of the best smoked salmon omelets I've ever had in my life. Not to say that you guys should be making smoked salmon omelets for the wonderful cause that you're doing for community purposes. And then, of course, shout out to Portage Bay Cafe. Portage Bay Cafe all over the city, organic ingredients. And, some places, whether it be a Saturday night after you leave the club, you have a big breakfast and you just don't feel good. You just can't wait to go. You can't wait to go home and just lie on your bed because, you ate, 42 eggs and one omelet. And I think there's a place called Linda's that specializes and is very well known for their massive omelets that could feed an entire neighborhood. Wow. So check out those spots. Shout out to them, and we'll see if we can get those guys booked in here and bring me in a smoked salmon omelet, because I don't think there's a better breakfast, in my opinion, than a smoked salmon omelet and some delicious whole wheat toast. So let's continue to work on our food segments here for everybody back of the scenes, monitoring the show. All right, let's talk about the shift from TV to social media. It's an interesting topic. I see it quite a bit, and it's definitely emerging. And TV stations need to continue to reinvent the wheel and reimage themselves. Because if not, they'll be taken down. So
yep, businesses these days have to adapt. 10 decades ago, things were totally different. TV was the biggest way, billboards, but now it's all social media, it's all video, it's online. So businesses just have to adapt and adopt current strategies that really work.
And what do you feel in your in your opinion, your humble opinion, your professional opinion, coming from Zima Marketing, a well-respected, well-known marketing agency, advertising agency here in the Pacific Northwest? What do you feel like Como 4, King 5, Cairo 7, Q13, all these guys, Comcast TV Spotlight? What do they need to do in a collective effort to continue to gain the traction that they need to do because TV is rated every day? I know. Mm-hmm. I was in radio my whole life, and TV is a beast. I mean, if you're not on it, you're not on it, and you watch them all kind of go into commercial break at the same time, which I get, but I think they could. I think they could have a better understanding on kind of beating each other out for clock ratio purposes for commercial inventory, but that's a whole separate conversation. But what are your thoughts on what these guys need to do in Seattle, representing these TV stations to be ahead of the curve?
Mm-hmm. I think starting to stream more on social media live.
Mm-hmm.
If they're doing a lot of live streaming and stuff, take advantage of those social media channels. Kind of get their customer base or their user base over onto those channels so they can adapt as people become more used to social media.
Yeah, I think out of all the local stations, I think the best one that I see doing it quite a bit is Q13. Q13, they do kind of the weather reports, a couple hours. I don't know if you've seen these.
I have.
They do the weather reports before their main 10 o'clock newscast, and I like that. I can get it at the right on my phone. Don't have to be glued to a TV, and it's convenient. I don't really see the other guys doing that though. I mean, and they should be, but hopefully it'll catch on here sooner than later to continue to grow the growing patterns for ratings purposes, ultimately for TV. Let's talk about the best app for editing photos on your iPhone these days. I think everybody is always looking for that next app to everybody takes tons of pictures, and what's that best app these days to be able to get those quality pictures to translate to Facebook, Instagram, or to send to mom and dad?
So I think we all might have an app that we prefer, but I prefer personally like Lightroom, which is made by Adobe.
Lightroom, okay.
Yeah, and that's a great one. It's actually free. You can get paid options, but it's great for editing the light and the content that you produce with your videos and photos. So
Okay.
I really recommend it.
Okay.
I love Lightroom because if you go on the Adobe Creative Cloud, you can pay like $10 a month, and that gets you Lightroom, all the paid features for the phone, and on your desktop, you can get Lightroom and Photoshop for that. The cool thing about Lightroom is if you edit the photo on the phone and you have the paid option, you can pull it up on the desktop, keep editing it, switch it over into Photoshop, and it really works well together. That's the only one that I would use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nick, you fully endorse Lightroom then?
Absolutely.
They should be almost paying you to do an endorsement for them. So I'm sure with your broad human Rolodex and your connection base, maybe they'll be reaching out. And if they do, let me do it with you. So,
Absolutely. Everyone should at least get the free version of Lightroom.
there you go.
Absolutely.
And of course we can't leave you out here. What are you on the Lightroom whatever the heck it's called,
Absolutely.
bandwagon, or do you
Yep.
have your own strategy?
I personally also use Lightroom. I love it. It's great for fixing colors and editing that kind of stuff. And then there's also a really cool app called Prisma, and it's very unique. You can kind of make it makes your photos kind of like into art, like digital art. So
Okay.
check it out for sure.
Now, how about for the people like me, and I might be one of the last people on the face of the earth that does not own an iPhone. I'm in the Samsung business. I'm a loyal Sprint customer, even though a lot of people talk negative about Sprint. Yes, I've had a lot of drop calls. Yes, I've had issues. My show producer Erica is always laughing at me behind the scenes, when she sends me pictures and videos, and she says that quality is just not worthy to go up and see and let thousands of people witness them and see them. So it might be time for me to be the last American. In America to switch to the iPhone. I just may have to do it. I'm not a fan of doing it, but if I'm forced to do it for my job, I'll have, I won't settle for anything less. So, going back to my question, for a Samsung customer, using their Note device platform, what options do I have?
I don't think any of us use Samsung, so I'm not familiar. I know Lightroom works on any
Just get
device.
So I was kind of talking Chinese there a second ago, huh?
little bit,
Just
yeah.
completely unrelatable to the conversation, huh?
Just get Lightroom and change to iPhone. We don't like seeing your green text messages.
Yeah. All right. Well, I might just have to do that. All right. Millennials obviously are the future. Get in front of them now. And how are we going to continue to get in front of them now through the way and the efforts and the streaming methods that Zima Marketing provides to your current network and to new customers that will be calling that will need Zima Marketing's help? Yeah.
Absolutely. So not only just millennials, but Gen Z. Millennials and Gen Z collectively are going to be over a third of the country's consumer base
Okay.
by the year 2020. So if your business is not trying to get their attention and not trying to connect with them, you're going to be in a serious world of hurt in the next couple of years when they become the people making the decisions. So it's very important to get millennials yourself and Gen Z, because who better to connect with millennials and Gen Z than millennials and Gen Z, right? So what we use in our business, we have a videographer. He's got a sponsorship from a couple different companies through his Instagram. He's very, very Instagram famous, and he makes all our content because he knows he built his following. He's 18 years old, built his following over 100,000, paid promotions, everything. So why would I go find someone who doesn't have that, who's 40, who says they can take photos, when I know Ryan can do this better than anyone?
Yeah.
You should find the best to make your content, and that can be the young kids.
Yep. And what do you guys feel frustrating? I know I asked you guys this earlier, but what frustrates you in terms of what you guys see in terms of platforms, businesses that aren't willing to put the time, effort, and money into their products into their product displays? I mean, what are some things that ultimately frustrate you guys that you just, you have to power off your phone ultimately when you see these, and you just have to kind of decompress, go outside and get a breath of fresh air,
Yes. So at the end of the day, I mean, as harsh as it is to say, not everyone's a winner, not every business is going to win. So the difference between the businesses that win and the businesses that don't are the investments they make back into their customers. So one of the things that I like to say is when you invest into advertising, you're actually investing into your customers, because what you're doing is you're making it easy for them to find you. So you look at the businesses like Amazon, like Uber, like Lyft, they've put massive amounts of money into building platforms and systems where their customers can click a button and make business happen. So if you want to be at that next level, if you want to be a big business, you can't think like a small business, and you have to put your energy into making it easy for others to get there.
Okay, and when we talk about Lyft and Uber, I mean, they're obviously doing a lot of good things correct on the grid pattern, but what could they continue to do to excel their hyper brand focus, in your opinion?
I think that targeted ads are really important. I think one thing they did really well was they actually made it very attractive for people to become drivers. And because people became drivers, they blew up, and now you see these Lyft and Drive and Uber logos everywhere on cars, things like that. That's all great. I think one thing they could do better is, not really from a marketing standpoint, but when you're getting picked up by your driver, it should always share your location. Because I feel like sometimes the driver drives past you and you end up
that's happened to me.
Dance.
That's happened to me too on a pouring, rainy night where I'm just getting soaked and I'm wearing a leather jacket and everyone else has got, umbrellas and rain gear on, and I'm looking like a sore thumb standing out on the corner. And I agree. I mean, I can't believe that hasn't happened yet. I mean, why are we still behind the curve and behind the times on that? Why haven't the developers overseas, because I'm sure that's where they're working at it, for Uber and Lyft to enhance the technology efforts for that?
One of the things is big companies take a long time to move, just because there's so much to go around the board. So I think that's probably part of it. Another thing too is maybe they haven't seen that become a big issue yet.
Yeah.
But right now, if you guys are listening, Uber and Lyft, that is an issue. So make sure you fix it.
I'm not, I had a bad experience recently. I was down in Los Angeles with a couple of the guys, and we called an Uber. We were on Hollywood Boulevard, packed full of people. The guy found us, but, we were, LA, LA is large, but I was going from, North Hollywood to ultimately near the airport. $86.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night, $86. I mean, I probably could have got a limo for that.
Yeah.
Maybe on a good day, a limo with a hot tub in the back. I mean, $86 to drive me, 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, that's a ripoff.
Yeah.
I felt like, I felt like honestly asking the driver just to give me my cash back. Go to the ATM and give me my money back. Why am I paying $86 to go 20 or 30 minutes? I mean, I asked him, and I was respectful about it. I said, high desired time. BS. I mean, I get them in downtown LA. I get it. The clubs are out at 2 o'clock in the morning. Is it really that big of a sacrifice for him to drive 20 minutes and pay the $86? But you know what? I don't really know, any other alternative methods that I don't live in Los Angeles, and I'm not going to start walking randomly down city streets and make a wrong turn and get into trouble. So, I paid the $86, but I didn't appreciate it, so that's, I think, one thing right there that they could excel at, on a real high pattern. All right, Nick, Ben, and Brennan on a Friday afternoon show here. I think it's a good topic, especially normally we do, I see this kind of falling under the umbrella of a tech segment. Normally, you guys would be in here on a Tech Tuesday. The way the show is planned out from the crew here with Erica and the staff here at Studio 110. But we figured, since Nick is coming back in next week to make this big announcement, and since you guys have a lot you're working on, I said, you know what, let's get him in here on a Friday, and let's get you guys in here today and talk about it. So I've learned a lot today. Not to say that, I'm going to, classify myself as some marketing genius, but, I've done enough in marketing throughout my time, representing the former radio station, where Summer Jam came into play and these big events. I mean, you're talking 22,000 people. 22,000 people on a marketing initiative and effort. You got to make them feel good from the time they walk into that gate to the time they walk out. How is that self-awareness going to continue to be an epic translation on their cell phones, on their social media, and everything, as a combined effort, correct?
Right. Yeah, one thing that kind of touched on what you said about flyers earlier is now we have, flyers kind of still exist, but they're digital and everyone has their own personal flyer.
Right.
And that's your cell phone.
Yep.
So when these businesses are printing out paper and then, distributing it, which costs money because you're printing out a hard asset, not an asset, but something that's tangible, and then you're delivering it, which you're also littering and wasting trees. You could just advertise on a phone.
Yep.
You could just spend $5. We have ad campaigns. You start with $5 a day. If it's doing well, you scale it up, and that's how people get in front of their customers. It's low risk, it's high reward, as long as you know what you're doing. And as long as you invest in the content.
So go back to that. I want to learn more about that. So what am I going to get for $5 a day if I want to invest $5 a day? What can you guarantee me? What's going to be on paper?
So with Facebook ads, what we do is we invest small amounts of money towards different audiences to test which audience is going to engage best with your business.
Okay.
So basically, nothing's going to be profitable until it's proven to be profitable. We're very data-driven with everything, and the reason why is because we started out in this industry spending our own money on advertising. So we learned how to get by doing it with nickels and dimes. And essentially, we run multiple ads, all at very low $5 budgets, and then the winning ads get scaled because we kill off the losers and put their money into the winners. So it's just a process of elimination.
All right, so if I gave you $200 cash on Monday and said, I want you just to show me honestly what you can do for me in the show for $200, how long will it, ultimately how long, because I don't like waiting too long to see things. So how long would I have to wait and be patient for to see direct results here from social if I gave you, for example, $200?
What's the result you're looking for?
Just massive growth, dinner table conversation, massive growth, and won't settle for anything less.
Listeners and things
Yeah,
like that.
everything is a collective effort. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be possible to get results. We tell our clients typically they can see results within the first 7 days. Results aren't maximized till after 90.
Okay.
But
So don't call you or email you and start getting upset with Zima Marketing if the numbers aren't translating in a direct pattern after the first hour after you spend that money. It's not instantaneous.
Sometimes it is. So that's the benefit of paid advertising versus other methods. Once you turn the ad on, the ad's on.
Uh-huh.
And then people can see it and engage with it and come do business with you. So really what it comes down to, that $200 can go really far if you have good video content. Right now we're advertising a Kickstarter campaign. We spent $170 and it's already made over 1,000.
Okay, so if I sent you a video of Sir Mix-a-Lot giving me a hard time, asking him to mop the floors here and asking him to help me with some wiring here in the studio. It's a funny video. It's a compelling video. A lot of people have been talking about it. If I invest in that video, if I take money out of my own pocket and give it to you, Zima Marketing, what can I expect to see?
I would expect you to see an increase in followers, an increase in brand reputation or awareness. People will know who you are. That's probably a video where you're going to get comments. People are going to follow because there's different cognitive biases. So Charlie Munger has the 25 cognitive biases, which are psychological phenomenons that happen within humans and make them either choose one way or the other. So that would be the association bias, which is what you see with like Nike sponsoring LeBron James.
Yep.
So now you have Sir Mix-a-Lot with yourself. So that's association bias. You're going to get a huge following from that because Sir Mix-a-Lot is a really cool person.
Yeah, and how about how about a shopping spree with Macklemore down like at Barney's, going shopping with him and doing that. I mean, not a video, but a picture, and it has some cool content to it. So I would think that would track well too, right?
Absolutely, it would.
Because how many people ultimately is Macklemore shopping with, right?
No, not a lot.
There you go. Let's talk about ways that clients can reach out to Zima Marketing and be able to collect the efforts that they need to.
One of the best ways to get in touch with us is our website, which is just zimamarketing.com. Another great way is through social media. So we have a pretty large Instagram. You can find us at Zima Marketing on there, or you can just contact us all personally.
There you go. Well, it's been great to have you guys in the studio. You guys can hang out here for a little while longer, but I do want to talk about one story that definitely stands out because Eminem hasn't been in music news for some time. I teased earlier that Eminem is serving up his mom's spaghetti. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Like when we think of Eminem, do we think of Eminem and his mom's spaghetti? No. No? Nick, when you think of Eminem, what do you think of?
Definitely not mom's spaghetti.
Well, when you think of Eminem, though, what do you think of? What's the first thing that comes to your mind, brain when you think of Eminem?
Angry,
just angry, yeah, just
Slim Shady.
yeah. Well, you never see him smile, right? No. God forbid. How about you? I mean, how about you when you think of Eminem? What do you think of?
8 Mile.
All right, hey, that's good. It's good. All right. Well, Eminem is doing more than just hanging out at Coachella stages this weekend. He's actually going to be helping in association with his mother's famous spaghetti by filling up people's, this says tummies. When was the last time we heard tummies at this music festival. Slim Shady went onto his Instagram a few minutes ago, kind of pretty much broke when I signed on the air here today. He took a picture of this billboard that we're going to try to get here on our Instagram page so people can see it. And the pop-up is named after the lyrics to the 2002 single called Lose Yourself. You guys remember Lose Yourself?
Absolutely.
It's a big record on the radio station. Yep. And offered fans the chance to taste a variety of dishes, including spaghetti with meatballs and a spaghetti sandwich. A spaghetti sandwich. That sounds interesting. Have you guys ever had a spaghetti sandwich?
I don't think I have.
It's like a sloppy Joe, right, or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, I've never had a spaghetti sandwich, so I mean that should be interesting. All right, with meatballs, spaghetti sandwich. It was hosted at the Detroit music venue called The Shelter, and also offered fans the chance to purchase Eminem's new album called Revival, along with a variety of exclusive merchandise. So it's interesting to see that Eminem is. I'm seeing a different side to Eminem now. You know, the side that I always saw with Eminem was angry, all about his lyrics, all about making fun of other artists like Mariah Carey and ultimately making her cry and her having to come out and defend herself. And but I can tell you this: I've had the opportunity to meet Eminem, and he's not the projected image that he translates himself to be. He's actually a very quiet, reserved, well-spoken individual he's very reserved. It takes a bit to open up. The first time that I met Eminem, he thought he'd play a massive prank on me, and he pretended to be a cop, and he had a mask around his face that said police, and it was at the first station that I signed on for back in the day, and I got a knock on the door. I'm in the studio on the air, and I hear police, open up. And, I knew it was a joke. I knew that there was no police raid going down at the time. And I see this guy's hand, got these big sunglasses, got the ski mask on. His hand is on my chest. And he's kind of almost pushing me down to the ground. He says, "This is a holdup, man. Get on the ground. This is a holdup." And then he rips off his mask and just thought it was the most hilarious thing that he's ever done, and it was Eminem, it was Slim Shady. So that's the way that Eminem and I were introduced to each other. Not your average way of introducing two people, but one of those experiences that you just can't forget. You just can't forget. It felt real back then, and when I see him, I'm sure he probably does the same thing. So, like I said, Zima Marketing, Ben and Brennan, of course, headed up by Nick in terms of Nick bringing his buddies here into the studio. Nick will be back in the studio with us next week to make a big announcement in terms of, I'm not even going to talk about it because it's big, and I'm going to let Nick do all the proper preparation this week for that announcement. Scheduled on the show here in the next couple minutes is my buddy Walter Thurman, former Seahawks superstar, and then got picked up by New York, and then ultimately said, "You know what? I'm not playing football anymore. What am I gonna continue to do with my career?" So I'm looking forward to having Walter on the show. Eric, if you want to send him a text message for me and tell him that he can call in right now, we are ready for him. What are you guys going to be? What's going to be going on this weekend? It's a Friday afternoon. Let's talk to you real quick before Walter calls me here live on the air here in the studio. What are you going to be doing this weekend, man?
It's going to be lots and lots of work.
Lots of work. So it's a work weekend. No fun, no bike riding, no hiking, no bowling, or just nothing fun, huh?
Oh, we always have fun.
Yeah. We have fun when we work. It's a lifestyle. You enjoy it.
There you go. Well, if you guys do some bowling, reach out to the crew here, and I'm always down for a game of bowling. I like to get out there. One of my favorite spots to go to is West Seattle Bowl. It's an area here in the greater Pacific Northwest. Monday nights, they do $1 bowling games.
Wow.
Yeah, so my tab usually is $8, and I usually play, 4 games.
Yeah.
And if I was to, take that to like the garage on Capitol Hill, your tab's probably $60.
Yeah.
So, you just can't beat a good deal for a good bowling game. $2 shoe rentals, $1 bowling games. So, shout out to everybody, the staff at West Seattle Bowl. They're always very accommodating. When I go in there and want a lane. Normally I don't have to wait too long to get a lane, and I'm not a good bowler. I'm not a good bowler at all, but I find it enjoyable as a fun activity to do on the side. All right, getting back to business. Major announcement today at 3 o'clock. Pacific Standard Time. Everybody's going to be affected by this in a positive, fun way. Don't miss it. It's not just one, it's not just two, it's not just three. It's multiple things coincide, connected into this announcement. Don't miss it. 3 o'clock on the dot. I won't make it 3:01. I won't make it 2:59. I'm going to make it at 3 o'clock. I'm going to give you everything that you need to know about this event. And I've got right now Walter Thurman here on the phone with me. Walter, can you hear me all right? Walter, are you there? Walter, are you there? Can you hear me okay? We lost Walter. Let's see if Walter can call back. He must have had some technical issues on his end. But I know we're good to go here on our end here in the studio. If not, we'll have to do the other way that we've been doing it, Erica. But hopefully Walter will call back. Let's see if I can see if we can get Walter back here on the air. We'll call Walter here live on the air. Let's I should be able to. Yep, I'm hearing the ring right now. About to have Walter Thurman here, former Seahawks player. Are you there, Walter?
Hey man, how you doing?
Good, I got you now. Maybe the call got dropped. I don't know where you're at right now in the country. Can you hear me okay?
I can't hear you. How about, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine. It's great to have my personal friend Walter Thurman, a former star player with the Seattle Seahawks. Then we lost you here because you decided to embark on your career in a larger platform and go to good old New York, where I'm from. And you were with New York. But like I said, man, you and I go back a number of years, and we've always kept in contact. And it's great to have you on the air with me here on the news show, Studio 110.live.
I appreciate bringing me on. It's good to reconnect, and looking forward to seeing what Studio is all talking about.
Absolutely, and you got a lot that you're working on, correct? You got Fan Stereo, and you're in the concert business these days, and you got a lot going on. So let's kind of start from the beginning, how you and I were introduced, and I can tell the story, or you can tell it, and I'll kind of jump in. But why don't you kind of kick it off? How you and I kind of had the proper introduction?
I was invited to Cube and had an interview there, and amongst our mutual connections, just in the same entertainment spaces and stuff like that, and we just, hit it off and stuff like that. We both had a lot of similar interests as far as life pertaining with the fashion and music and stuff like that, and wanting to be able to collab and on some various different things, and just the nature of the business within football. I had to take my talents to your home state and city and stuff like that, to be able to further the career and gain more knowledge in the specific spaces that we're both currently dealing with nowadays.
There you go. All right. So I'll kind of give a proper way here. Walter did a great job explaining how it all kind of came about, but hopefully we won't have any. Well, that was interesting, Erica, who just came in. Hopefully she's not lost here. It's a big building here. All right. So Walter Thurman here on the air with me, Dirty Harry, Studio 110.live. So at the former radio station, I created something called Seahawks Takeover Tuesdays, and it lasted quite a few years. And every year I would choose a different star player from the organization to come in on their day off. It was always Tuesdays, and come in and make it their show. I would be in the studio, and we'd put together a great Seahawks Takeover Tuesday show from 4:30 to 6. And one particular year, I had to reach out to my boy Walter and say, hey, Walter, will you accept my invitation to come in and when you're not playing football, be an up-and-coming emerging radio star? And you accepted, and we developed a nice pattern, and we gave away a lot of things. We gave away autographed stuff. We had other players in the studio. We had artists call in. We had events. So it was a great partnership.
Yeah, it really was, and it's unfortunate that you aren't able to host those. But I mean, now you're in a new platform, more creative control within the situation, and can throw together a bunch of different type of creative content moving forward here.
There you go, and I definitely you definitely make it out here from time to time. And next time you're out here, I'd like you to come in and be in the studio with me and be on the air, be my co-host for a number of days. What years were you with the Seahawks organization?
2010 to the Super Bowl year after winning that prestigious trophy.
Yep. And talk about that.
In Washington.
Yep. And talk about that experience of being on the squad that year, ultimately bringing that trophy back. Because I remember broadcasting, I don't remember what street it was. It was either, I think it was 6th Avenue off of Denny there by the Seattle Center, by the iconic Space Needle. And I remember seeing you and all the guys on the different trucks, and it said Legion of Boom, and the different positions that you guys, represented on your jerseys when you guys came out there and played for the 12s and, smacked down these other players. And it was a great experience, man. But just talk about, you being part of this squad and ultimately, winning the trophy and bringing it back here, man.
Obviously the Washingtonians know the story and know that whole season and how it played out. But for the rest of the viewers and listeners that didn't get to experience that because they were the other end of getting whooped on out there.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals to where so much camaraderie, so much brotherhood within that locker room. Guys were willing to sacrifice their personal self-interest, remove their ego, and understood the concept of team, and understood that if everyone did their job to the most potential that they possibly can conceive, that we were going to be able to win games. And that whole year through the season, it wasn't an easy road. Each game was very tough. It came down to the end. There might have been like 2 or 3 games that were just, really lopsided in an aspect of us really winning in that capacity, but a lot of it was hard fought, and it was a testament of the true nature of when everyone comes together and believes in their counterpart and understood the concept of the team, great things can happen. And, that was the epitome. We had undeniable belief that we were capable of winning a championship, especially on the defense side of the ball, that we wanted to be the most physical team out there and impose the most damage as we possibly could to be able to help sway games in that capacity. And we just were relentless out there. And I think it showed in all, the 16 games in the regular season and in the 3 in the postseason, after having that home field advantage and stuff like that, and we were able to bring that trophy home. And it's a testament to just that team organization, but also something that I carry personally in off-the-field endeavors pertaining to the film space, consumer electronic and tech space, and even in great team. And doing anything to be successful. If you have guys that aren't part of the team and looking out for everyone and doing their own part to be able to hold themselves accountable. Accountability is the biggest thing that I found during that whole year. And we had a bunch of guys that would hold themselves accountable. I think Pete Carroll and John Snyder did a great job of, weeding out the guys that wouldn't hold themselves accountable and building a team that had guys that just really understood that accountability level and took it upon themselves to be able to be great. And you look that year and in the following years from a personal standpoint, individually, that you have roster guys that years all over the place and all pro guys. And, that's rare for a lot of organizations to have that many guys of that caliber in the Pro Bowl because, again, they understood the concept of team and no egos.
Yep. And just talk about some of the perks that you were able to get your hands on and be part of for, being a Super Bowl, member of an award-winning iconic team like the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I know there's a lot of perks that people aren't even aware of in terms of just the amount of money each player gets, and of course the iconic, beautiful rings that are custom made for you guys, and just all the other things that you guys get, from winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it really does put you, football just being, the ultimate team sport in that capacity, and, companies and different venues people who are just fans of the sport, open their arms and respect the challenge that you were presented with through the year and understand that you're a person that understands the team concept and stuff like that. So a lot of doors do open for an individual that are part of professional, championship winning teams and stuff like that, to where you're able to utilize that and be able to work with individuals that understand your work ethic and want to help you succeed off the field, more importantly, because they understand that, the game only lasts. The average NFL career is 3.5 years. So with that being said, I was able to almost double that within that personally, before I decide to opt out and retire and pursue other endeavors that I have passions for and interest in and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's been a great situation of having that type of platform to be able to help additionally with some of the off-the-field endeavors.
Yeah, and I want to talk about just all your other endeavors that you're working on, because you've got a lot. You were very smart and intelligent, Walter, to reinvent yourself after you decided to retire from the NFL and from the respected team that you represented, and being your last team with New York. Because a lot of players, I mean, I would imagine they don't really think about that. They don't think about that throughout their career. They don't really think about, plan B. And, plan B is always super important. And you've always had other, and this is what I've always known about you and why I've always kind of, you've always been kind of a good role model in the sense of, it's always good to be kind of tracking and working on multiple maneuvers and platforms, even as you're doing kind of your main strong inner passion. And, for me, it's, being a radio host and continuing to excel and succeed and be the best radio host that I can be. And, for you, being an NFL player, but then, doing everything that you're doing on the side. I wanted to also ask, how often do you just get the desire to ultimately to put the championship Super Bowl ring on?
I really wear the ring in different special occasions. I'm in the film space, so if it's a film premiere or a film festival, things of those the natures in that regard, a wedding, I'll bring the ring out and stuff like that, to be able to go with some of the attire and everything in that regard.
I'm sure you probably have to bring a personal bodyguard to walk around with you when you wear that championship ring. That's
yeah, my personal bodyguard is my mom. So you guys better watch out.
Yeah, because that's that thing probably has more diamonds than just one single Ben Bridge jeweler, right? I mean, out here in.
Hey, I can say women, they're laced in diamonds and everything like that. They know to handle themselves. A lot of women.
Correct.
Like that, worth thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuff like that. You don't hear about these situations of them getting mugged.
Right.
And it's because they don't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So that's why I have my mom. That's why I have my mom with me when I go out to these events when I wear my ring, because I know she's gonna be able to protect me more than I can protect myself.
Yeah, maybe we should pass that message on to our mutual point of contact named Safari Samuels, Nicki Minaj's ex. Who was recently going to, I don't know if you heard about this, but he was recently going to an interview with Angie Martinez out there in New York, and he got robbed at he got mugged at gunpoint for about $184,000 in his pocket. I don't think Angie Martinez charges $184,000 to do an interview. Last time I checked, so.
No, I know that was an expensive interview. I hope he was able to benefit from that situation. He should have had his moms with him.
Yeah, he should have had his mom with him to have like an AR behind like a bomber jacket to pull out and hit those guys, because you don't want to piss off mom. So last person you want to piss off. All right, so emerging kind of from the Seahawks business and context that we're talking here with my boy Walter Thurman here. After the Seahawks, you emerged and you represented the New York squad, correct?
Yes, sir.
And how was it? How was it playing for New York?
It was. Obviously, the big city feel is a little bit different from New York or from Seattle.
Just a little bit, yeah.
The different mindset culturally within the organization. It was interesting to see the dynamic of what Pete and John Snyder created with the Seahawks and going to another organization and seeing, that mindset. I mean, Tom Coughlin is a great coach. He's a championship mindset. He's won 2 championships as a head coach. He's won others as assistant coaches as well, So, I mean, he understands what it takes to be able to win a championship. And it was more a player aspect to where you had a lot of egos in the room and people not playing for the overall team. And so seeing that, it was like, Man, it was. I had a lot of value because just coming from the championship team and being able to teams wanting to recreate what the Legion of Boom has created.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you constantly get questions in that regard on like what you guys were doing. You know, we were playing simplistic defense. We were playing cover 3 and man defense the majority of the time, but it was understanding the weaknesses of those defenses and coverages that made us so superior in those couple of years with the Seahawks, you know?
Yep.
And I think that was the lack of what other teams understood. And I think it's also transitioned to from what I've seen outside of sports and then just in the everyday life in the corporate world as well is, you know, the lack of attention to detail from, you know, individuals within that space to be able to maximize themselves so that way they're able to create avenues and lanes to be able to do whatever they want to do, you know, and not having to be dependent on the organization to be able to provide for you. It's understanding yourself, understanding the skill set that everyone possesses, and being able to utilize that to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, to ultimately try to reach the maximum exposure. Real quick, I wanted to just kind of get your real quick thoughts on just kind of what the Seahawks organization has been doing recently with a lot of the trades and acquisitions with the current players that have been sent off to represent other teams and new players that the organization is bringing in. What's kind of your quick thought process and opinions on what they've done from, you know, John Schneider down to Pete Carroll?
Yeah, you know, I mean, being the team and city that I got drafted to, my heart's there, and I've been, you know, watching from afar what's going on with a lot of my comrades that are still that were on the team, that are still on the team, but seeing that, you know, the level and style of play that, you know, Seattle plays with, that ferociousness, that viciousness, you know, you can't keep that up for long, you know. Now, you know, Earl and Cam, you know, and even Sherman before he got injured, you know. You see the wear and tear, and obviously guys are starting to get they got hurt, and now they're coming back, and now they have to reinvent themselves and, you know, bring in that same type of talent that they created that's been there for that longevity of the past few years, you know. And I think that's one of those things. And obviously you have the cap situation to where, you know, they were able to take advantage of the earlier salaries of that championship team, and then building up to be able to help them out, which, you know, the overall league has got more competitive and stuff like that, you know. And you know, they're rebuilding, and you know, John used a creative word as far as, you know, not a rebuilding mode, but everyone rebuilds, you know. And
Yep.
I think it's just more of a situation to where getting fans to understand that concept. And, you know, I don't see this being something that it's long drawn out for this organization. You know, they may have a down year this coming year. Who knows? I'm not sure what type of talent they bring in and the type of players are going to have those mindsets to be able to compete and carry the same thing that a Cam Chancellor or Earl Thomas had, you know, within that capacity. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that mindset is very crucial, especially for that Seattle offense and defense, you know.
Yep.
That makes it so special, and that every other team tries to emulate, because you know, they set a tone as far as the style of play, kind of that old school 1970s, still current, you know, mentality for football. You know?
Go. Yep.
And it's and I think that's what they're trying to get back to. But again, as evolution evolves, as far as the human consciousness and people that they're bringing in, you know, it's some of these guys don't possess that kind of particular mindset to be great in that caliber of a Earl Thomas. I mean, remember Earl coming the same year as Earl, and hearing him, you know, a 20-year-old rookie who would be 21, and he's talking about, you know, wanting to be, you know, Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And from that day on, everything he did was to be able to be a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And he can retire right now, and he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He should be, you know, because the thing that he's been Pro Bowl since he came into the league, you know, scratching that surface is one of the top safeties. So, I mean, again, it's just a particular mindset that, you know, Pete and John Schneider have done a great job of finding particular talent within that capacity.
There you go. And just before we kind of leave football aside and get on to the next topic of conversation, then I want to speak to my friend who's on the air with me right now at Studio 110.live, Walter Thurman, one of the top members of the Seahawks squad the year that they brought the championship trophy back to Seattle. I hope it happens again soon. I really do. It may be a couple years of building with some of the changes that the organization has made, but I'm really hoping that we'll see that parade and that trophy hit SeaTac Airport and represent the true iconic 12s that make up the fan base here for the Seahawks. Last question before we kind of get off to the next topic here, Walter, is kind of your recommendations and thoughts for someone that's trying to capture their dreams to become an NFL star like you were. Your thought process in terms of what you need to do every day to stay on that grind mode and not hear no's and translate those no's into yeses to become and represent, one of the many NFL organizations around the United States.
No, I mean, it's attention to detail, and it's understanding what you as an individual bring to the table and what separates you apart from everyone else. I think understanding that first from an athletic standpoint and moving forward is understanding there's going to be competition, and it's being able to embrace that competition is what's going to separate an individual apart from everyone else.
Correct.
A lot of people get caught up in the construct of the overall scheme of things, which they're forgetting on themselves. And I think that was the biggest thing that I was able to realize through my career, college, and even into the professional ranks. Even through my peers with, Tate and Russell Kuhn, all these guys that I got drafted with as well. These are the guys that understood that and understood because everyone had a chip on their shoulder. Richie Sherman came in 5th round, had a chip on his shoulder.
Yep.
So like it's understanding these things and not letting outside organizations or corporations put you in a box. It's understanding what you're capable of and taking advantage of the opportunities as they come. And it's just about waiting for those opportunities. Success is opportunity. It's preparation meeting opportunity. That's what success is.
Yep.
So if you're waiting to be successful, well, you need to prepare yourself. You don't want to wait for the opportunity and not have preparation to it, because then you're going to fail. You're not going to have success. So I think that's the biggest thing for athletes coming up, for people going into the workspace, or someone trying to pursue and chase your dreams, is understand yourself, keep honing your skills, and then wait for that opportunity, because you're going to be in the most successful possibility that you can, because you're already prepared for that opportunity.
There you go. So just kind of moving on here, Walter has taken it upon himself to be a partner in a really cool headphone speaker audio brand that I definitely wear occasionally in the studio, and I wear it on my off time. Walter sent me an extremely nice, generous care package. And before we kind of start talking about Fan Stereo, your new brand that people can see a lot on your Instagram. And real quick, give me your Instagram platform for everybody to check it out.
Instagram is KingWalt6.
KingWalt6, cool. So you can see a lot of the headphones. Walter does a great job modeling and premiering and showing a lot of the headphones and audio capabilities that Fan Stereo offers. Shout out to you and Jay and the whole crew there at Fan Stereo New York. And I'm sure you're aware of this, Walter, but my guys, my group that I've taken under my wing called the Hyde Children, Jason and Jamal, they were just recently in New York, and they met with your counterpart, Jay, at your guys' headquarters in New York. And I know they're inking some business deals right now in the works, thanks to my relationship with you and everything as a collective effort. But super excited about the partnership with the Hyde Children and you and Jay and the whole crew at Fan Stereo. Let's talk about Fan Stereo, and just kind of give me kind of the proper illustration on what it was ultimately, Walter, that gave you the desire to kick off the new iconic headphone brand called Fan Stereo.
It happened actually the year after the Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl year. I had this idea for some technology that was software, hardware, and it was around the music streaming space. And I felt that the best way to be able to utilize this application, this platform, was through some headphones. So I met my partner Jay down in Florida, and transitioning from Seattle to New York, and met him. He's a lifestyle branding, celebrity branding guy. We were able to forge a partnership, and we started to develop this technology out and be able to implement, this headphones, which now is known as Fan Stereo. And, any celebrity or artist, entertainer, sports athlete, they've been a fan growing up of someone.
Yep.
So Fan Stereo is the moniker for, before they were someone, they were fans.
Yep.
We're all fans.
Yep.
And so these product and everything that's associated with the Fan Stereo line is for the fans. It's for the people. It's for everyone. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. It doesn't matter what your orientation is. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone is welcome to be a part of Fan Stereo. That's what the brand represents. It's for everyone. And so we want to be able to, again, going back to the situation of what got me to be the caliber of athlete within this professional in the sports space, it comes back to attention and detail. I took that same ideal and the same thing that my business partner Jay Leopardi has already instilled in himself was attention and detail.
Yep.
So we wanted to be able to deliver the highest quality consumer product that hasn't been out there, that's out there now through Fan Stereo, and it was all because of keeping the fan and the viewership in mind within that. And so we partnered with a company called Direct Sound, who specialized in the pro audio space for 18 years. Passive isolation drivers, nice low frequency sounds, overall great speaker drivers, and we were able to utilize, this professional quality sound and bring it to the consumer masses. Again, the constant question that we get asked all the time is, what separates you from Beats? Because they have the market of the lifestyle brand or in headphones. But realistically, through the research, Beats accounts for, less than a quarter percentage of the overall market space for headphones. So the market space the headphone space is very huge within that regard. And it really just came down to, wanting to offer quality product on the consumer level, and to be able to encompass and allow everyone to be able to partake within that brand for a very affordable cost.
Yeah, and that's what I want to talk about right now. I want to kind of get a little bit deeper into Fan Stereo and the brand. How many current styles of headphones are currently on the market right now for the consumers and for the people out here, in the Pacific Northwest, where we do broadcast from, but we're a national, international show. So please let everybody know how many headphones are available, and then I want to translate that into just the speaker side of the division.
Yeah, I mean, we offer two headphones at the moment. One's brand is called the Studio 43s, high precision audio and the speaker drivers, Panther Technologies. These are our consumer-based models that are available. Our next line are called the Paradigms. They're leaning more to the hybrid pro audio space, which are still fashion forward into consumer space. At an affordable price compared to some of the studio model headphones that are out there, like the Sennheisers, the Beats Studios, and things of that nature, but offered to the consumer space. We also have in-ear buds called the Airs that are for your athletic leisure, where coming with a variety of different form-fitting ear styles that fit your ear. So if one size doesn't fit your particular ear shape, well, there's going to be a couple other options for you to be able to partake in. Again, attention to detail of providing more things for the end consumer at the end of the day. And then we have two versions of Bluetooth speakers. One called the New Bump, which is a lightweight, small, portable Bluetooth speaker that has ranges up to 60 to 80 feet of Bluetooth distance, as well as our New Bump Plus, which is a little bit bigger Bluetooth speaker, which also allows you to battery charge your phone and other devices as well within that. And then we're having another brand Bluetooth speaker that's coming out in this summertime called the New Bump Noise, which has more Panther technology that's in the wheelhouse of Fan Stereo that will allow you to be able to interconnect and connect with your various mobile devices like a Siri or Cortana or Alexa, whatever you're choosing.
There you go. Let's talk about the price points real quick here on the two kind of introductory offerings on the headphone side of the division for Fan Stereo.
Yeah, the MSRP price is $139 for the Studio 43s, which in other avenues in QB is $109 to $119. The paradigms are being listed right now on the website fanstereo.com at $199, and those are available for pre-order, which will be live in retail stores at the end of in the middle of May.
Awesome. And then on the speaker side of the division, I know you mentioned there's a few speakers. And what are the price points on the speakers for Fan Stereo that you can purchase at fanstereo.com?
$109 and $129. If you follow Fan Stereo Live on Instagram, there's constant promotions, is being able to drop some of these prices as well. Again, thinking about the end consumer at the end of the day, we have a great particular model as far as, we do partnerships with the various artists, entertainers, athletes, public figures who encourage them to, from a business standpoint, to have another source of revenue stream, but also giving them ownership of the particular brands. Right now we have currently Bootsy Badass, Victor Manuel, Ayo Teo, some of the guys that we have announced officially nationally their partnerships. We are working and have signed several other entertainers within the space, which will be announced here soon in the next couple coming weeks.
And when we talk about just kind of where headphones need to emerge to on kind of the audio technical, side of the business, and you're obviously on, you're on the proper landscape like you always are, Walter, and, as you being a partner of Fan Stereo, shout out to Jay and your entire staff and crew out there in New York City. What is the next step for the headphone game? Because I know you and I are very similar. We're both very competitive, and you're always out of the gate first with the new kind of point of technology purposes, for your branding efforts for Fan Stereo. So what is that next element, perspective into the headphone game that that you're hearing that the clientele, either at the conventions that you go to and set up shop with your crew? Well, what's the next thing that we want as consumers in the headphone game business?
It's headphones have become part of everyday lifestyle now. With the help of Beats, they've integrated to where it was slowly coming on within the past decade. People were utilizing their headphones to be able to escape their surroundings and just listen to the music they want to listen to as they're walking from the bus station to work, or if they're at their job space, or if they're just out leisuring and they're just hanging out and they want to listen to some music. So it's understanding these different trends. It's also understanding that Fan Stereo started initially from a technology standpoint and not from a headphone standpoint. The headphones came as more of a medium to showcase this technology, which that's the next thing that we're going to be implementing in these next few months and the remainder of the year, is a technology that we've been able to construct and develop that is not on the market, and that is going to be able to benefit all types of headphones. And more importantly, it's going to be a very, from our products that we offer to the services that we're going to be able to implement. And so headphones being that initial piece, we're going to be able to get into some more of the technology standpoint of what Fan Stereo really is and what it's really about. And that's the thing that I'm really excited about, to being able to be hands-on within that particular space and being able to bring that to life. We also have a TV network as well that we're going to be able to bring live and full on, that's catered to, again, music, entertainment, sports, and various different lifestyles. Again, giving people, 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 aspect in to a space that people want. People are tired of looking at abundant amount of commercials and being fed X, Y, and Z. Everything that we do has the end user in mind, has the consumer in mind, because we are people, we are fans. There's nothing different that separates us, unless what society may say. But as far as what we encompass as individuals, we're no different from anyone else.
There you go.
We live life. We eat, we sleep, we move our bowels like everyone else.
Yep.
So no one is on a higher echelon of anything. So we're very immersed into what the consumer wants, and we hear what the consumer wants. We've been paying attention, and we hear the different complaints about this company or this product and these people and X, Y, and Z, and we say no to that. And we want to be able to cater to the audience and the masses that at the end of the day are going to be the ones that are going to be the consumers, but also they need to take pride in what they're buying, because that's what some of the other corporations and companies have done, where people who are Apple users, they buy and they swear because of what the product and technology that's behind it, and on the different side of things, we don't want to kind of nickel and dime people and make people buy a new phone every other year or this or that. We just want to be able to provide quality assistance and products that's going to be able to help them.
Well, there you go, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have my personal friend. I call him a personal friend for multiple reasons. My guy, Walter Thurmond. I know you all remember Walter Thurmond. He was part of the championship squad here with the Seattle Seahawks the year that they just took care of business and dominated the team that they play. We're not even going to talk about the team that they play because it's all about the Seahawks, and brought that championship trophy back here to the Pacific Northwest, where it deserves to be every single year, in my opinion. And then, of course, he went to New York, and then he launched a brand, with his proper illustration called Fan Stereo that you can see on his Instagram page called King Walt 16, correct?
Yeah, King Walt 6.
Yeah, King Walt 6. Sorry, King Walt 6. And then, of course, you can go to fanstereo.com. I appreciate the partnership that you've allowed you and your team to work with my guys, the High Children, Jason and Jamal, of course, DJ Nasty Ness, and everybody as a group effort. And, I'm looking forward to Go ahead.
I was just saying I appreciate you for the introduction, and obviously just us being, great friends and stuff like that, and just looking forward to the future and the different endeavors and stuff like that. And I mean, we've been talking about a few years. I know the viewers don't know this though, but me and Harris have been working on some things for a few years now pertaining into the fashion space. I mean, everyone knows that you're such a fashionable guy. People know I'm such a fashionable guy. We were trying to put together some a couple different lines and stuff that capacity. So I mean, guys, you have to look out for that though. That's going to be coming soon though.
Yeah, I like to keep things under wraps, but I appreciate you bringing that up because it just signifies that I'm always working on things, and much success to you on and on a serious step here on Fan Stereo. And I wish we had more time today, because next time, which hopefully maybe I can get you back on with me next week or the week after, Walter, I want to touch on everything that you can that you're working on in the movie space, and everything on the TV side and on the concert side and on the fashion side that you and I are working on together. So it would be great to I'd like you to get back here to the Pacific Northwest. We got some big things coming up that I'm going to talk to you about off the air, offline, that I want you to come out and be part of. And
okay.
like I said, we're only a phone call away or an airplane ride away. So we're accessible, and you and I always can call each other 24/7, and we're always here for each other. And I can't thank you enough, man, for taking time out of your busy schedule today to be on the air with me here at Studio 110.live. The one and only Walter Thurmond. I know you've probably got a lot going on this afternoon and this weekend, and much continuous success. And may the dreams, the upcoming dreams, come true for you and your staff and everyone in Los Angeles and New York, and where all the places that you're doing business all over the country, my guy.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm back on the air and talking shop and talking about other endeavors and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, likewise. So we'll sign off for now, and we'll talk. I'll give you a call after I get off the radio here in about 23 minutes my time. Are you in what city are you in right now?
I'm out in Pennsylvania. Our headquarters is out in Allentown, Pennsylvania for the Fan Stereo. So just setting up shop, just
Nice.
making some moves happen. I mean, doing the film thing and doing some of the concert stuff. You're never tied down to just one location. So,
Correct.
I mean, I'll be back in Seattle for sure.
Likewise. Well, listen, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. I'll be in contact with you. Thank you again, Walter, for coming on the air with me here at Studio 110.live. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Harris. I appreciate everything.
Thank you, Walter. Talk soon.
All right, buddy.
Bye-bye. That was the one and only my personal friend, Walter Thurman, who I said earlier many times during the interview. Just you can see just how genuine and how respectful and how nice he is, man. He'll just do anything for you, and I don't ask for things. I mean, bottom line, I don't ask for things. The guy took it upon himself to send me this big box. I got home one night, got to the house, and I had a big box on my doorstep, multiple pairs of headphones, multiple pairs of speakers, clothing. Just took it upon himself and just said, you know what, hey, do whatever you want with it. Give it to some friends, gave it to some friends. And like I said, I mean, when I talk about how this show is emerging, that's a prime example from what you heard from an NFL star in terms of what's in the works and what's about to be in the works here at good old Studio 110.live. All right, our next guest that's about to call in to the show here, excuse me, Dawn Mostow. Erica, if you want to send her a text message saying that she can call into our phone lines here at Studio 110, we are ready for her at any given moment. She can call again. We're ready. The phone lines are open. We're not doing any contesting here. I think she's here with us right now. Dawn, are you on the line with me? Hey, Dawn. Dawn, are you there?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Dawn?
All right, thanks.
Thanks for making the time. I know you've got a busy schedule, and I appreciate you kicking off the last part of my 20 minutes before I make a major announcement. At 3 o'clock, I'm making a major announcement, Dawn, that you'll definitely want to be by however you're listening to the big old show, your phone or your iPad or your computer. You're not gonna want to miss it. So 3 o'clock Pacific Standard.
Super excited about it.
Thank you.
Super excited about it. I've been watching the show on Facebook. I've been watching the live stream and enjoying your guests speaking and following along here.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to the announcement.
Thank you very much. And you were in the studio with me a few weeks ago, and you and I met a few weeks before that prior here at Studio 110.live's headquarters. And I wanted to have Dawn on because Dawn knows that one of my passions and hobbies when I'm not on the air hosting the show is I like fashion. I like fashion, and I like keeping up to date on fashion trends and what's happening with the proper cycle movements here in the Pacific Northwest. And you are definitely an iconic member. I know you're humble, and I know you're very well respected, but I'll do the talking for you, Dawn. In terms of what you built up, the empire that you built up for yourself. So I've got Dawn Mostow on the line here, who represents her brand called Donna Matrix, and she's one of very few fashion designers around the country that has had the opportunities to make outfits for some of the biggest stars. And can you kind of do me a favor and kind of pick it up from there, Dawn, on just some of the stars and celebrities that have contacted you and your team that you've made stuff for?
Oh yeah, no problem. So we've worked with Beyonce and Katy Perry. Pink had requests for Bjork from the New York Times fashion magazine, the style magazine for New York Times. There's Bella Hadid, Kylie Jenner for Interview magazine. It's been super crazy. I can't keep track of how many requests we get, and usually it's such a short notice. It's like, well, we have this person and we need everything either shipped overnight or things sent by courier where they'll come pick it up at the studio. Worked on some recent films, Total Recall, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. We have some wardrobe in the upcoming third season of Colony on the USA Network. So there's it's been exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. How many times have you had the opportunity to work with Beyonce? How many pieces have you made for Beyonce up to date?
3 times. Not just her, but the dancers also for the performances, VMAs, and the Formation tour. So it's always super exciting when the Queen calls.
Yeah, it must be cool.
Of course, it's the stylist, but so I worked with her stylist Marnie Sinafonte, and it'll either be like we need 70 things and we need them in 2 days, or we need 3 things and we need them by the end of the day. So get going.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a very, very demanding schedule.
Yeah, when Beyonce is calling Dawn Mostow from Dominatrix, I mean, pretty much the world stops. And but it must be a nice feeling when you're at the house, kicking back and watching one of the award shows or one of her appearances, red carpet, and knowing that that's your construction. You made that. It must feel really good.
Definitely. Yeah, it's super good, and it's really wonderful to be at a place where the quality expectation out of the garments that when I create them for celebrities or when I create them for my customers, they're getting that same quality, whether it's on the red carpet, on a celebrity, or on yourself going to any event. It's just a good feeling to create and have my work appreciated by everybody.
Absolutely. And last time you were in the studio, you brought me a really cool biker jacket that you constructed and by the way, the fit me perfectly. Like I don't ever recall getting any official measurements done from you or your team, and I put this jacket on and it fit me like a glove, like a biker jacket should fit. And we took some really cool pictures. You can see those pictures up on the show's Instagram at studio110.live. And you and I have had some conversations offline to create some other fun pieces, especially for some of these big events that we have coming up here at Studio110.live in conjunction with FutureNet.club. So super excited about that. What are you currently working on right now? What's currently on the Dawn Mostow desk at back at the fort?
Okay, well, there's a few things going on. I have a couple of shows coming up, and actually we just shipped out 3 submissions for the World of Wearable Art Awards competition in New Zealand that recently exhibited in the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle. So we won first place in the wearable technology category last year, as well as the category this year. There's some surprises for their 30th anniversary show, so that just left this week to go over to the Courier Company. We have a show coming up April 26th, and that's at University of Washington. That's at the Intellectual House building, and it's the Tech Plus Plus show. That's Women in Technology show, and it's also for a charitable cause. So you can find out more about that on their Facebook page, but it's going to be really focusing on wearable art, wearable technology, and I'm collaborating with the jewelry designers. So we're going to have beautiful latex, gorgeous acrylic armor, jewelry, and some gorgeous models. And the space is fantastic. It's based on a Native American longhouse. It's a gleaming wood building in Austin Natural Lake, perfect for a runway show. There's over 500 RSVPs for that show. It's going to be a really awesome event. And,
wow.
And then the other show coming up is at the LeMay America's Car Museum in Tacoma, and that is on July 21st. And that we did that show last year. The models were in 50s inspired dresses. They had the gowns that they were in, dresses and the gowns that they were in were the colors of classic cars. So we had that British racing green, and we had that metallic blue, and we had cherry red. And they were all wearing really beautiful sunglasses from Shady Bitch Eyewear. And they were just another Seattle-based designer, and they were just looking fierce, walking in between the supercars. So this year's show coming up is they have import cars from Germany. So I think it's like BMWs, possibly Mercedes, all of the show cars and the concept cars. And so they have them in their main gallery space, which is this large airplane hangar size runway. That's just beautiful, awesome location. I never thought I would have a fashion show in that kind of space.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Last year, we're going to have an awesome show this year. And so this year, the garments are based on the laser cut design, a lot more wearable technology. We have this labyrinth gown that's that actually was the winner in World of Wearable Art that we're kind of just jumping off of with laser cutting the latex fabric, and we're working with a jewelry designer, Han Yin, who's designing. We're working together to design jewelry and garments together. So it'll just be a really, really fantastic collection.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to sharing it with everyone.
Yeah, well, I want you to come back here live on the air in the studio, and we can do a proper debut. Maybe we can get a couple models down here since we've got cameras here in the studio, and give Don Mostow the proper, ultimate respectful, operation and platform that you deserve from you being one of my favorite designers out here in the Pacific Northwest. If you're just tuning into the show right now, I've got, Don Mostow from Donatrix on the line with me to kind of talk about fashion, ultimately fashion, and everything that you're working on. Like you mentioned a few minutes ago on the air, you've had the opportunity and the pleasure to receive phone calls from Beyonce and her representation to make stuff for Beyonce and Katy Perry and Pink and some of the biggest iconic music stars literally under the face of this earth. So much props to you, and thank you again for constructing that awesome jacket that you brought down here for me to wear at that fun little photo shoot that we did. And I'm excited. I'm excited. You're always reinventing your image and your platform that you continue to build out for yourself. What are your recommendations and thoughts, Don, for just an up and coming designer, maybe still going to school at the Art Institute, or just has a dream to be able to just press up some T-shirts and see where it goes? What would be your inner core recommendations for someone that's just trying to get their start in the game?
Okay, well, I would say number one, probably reiterating what your guest from Dima was saying. Social media is key. If nobody knows about your work, even though if you do amazing work, if nobody knows about it, then nobody can give you business, nobody can find you, and you can't make connections from there. So I would say get your social media platform going, posting either progress work.
Yep.
People love to see progress work, or high quality images of the garments. There's always people that you can connect to, photographers, makeup artists, stylists, models. Put it together, post the best that you can. Get your name out there. Also, never stop designing. Every day you should be designing something. Whether you like it or not, whether it goes in the portfolio or not at the end, that doesn't matter. But you got to keep yourself fresh and always be inventing, because you might go back 5 years later and say, well, I wasn't there yet psychologically, or I wasn't there yet in terms of my talent or my skill, but now that idea was right. I just need to rework it. So always be inventing and always be designing. And I would say, you know what? It's okay to be humble. It's okay to be friendly. It's okay to be nice. You can't make friends if you're a jerk. So and you really can't get anywhere alone in this world.
No,
So
leave the ego at the door.
Always connecting with people.
Yep.
Always connecting with people is the most important thing. But I would say always focus on the quality of what you're doing. Of course, there's a learning curve when you're in school, but amazing things can happen when you're in school. So don't be afraid and always be creating.
Are there ways that people can reach out to you via social networking or your company website address? I don't like to give personal information out unless people are okay with that. But what are some ways, Don, that people can reach out to you and ask a question or place an order? Do you offer that?
Yeah, so you can go on the website, www.donamatrix.com, DAWNAMATRIX. We're also on Twitter and Instagram as Donatrix, and on Facebook as Donatrix Designs. And feel free to send a message. And I'm always happy to talk to potential customers, media, students who want to get a little bit of direction. So.
Yeah, because I remember that really stood out last time you were in the studio. As you said, you got hit up by quite a few people, and that's no surprise to anybody, being at the level that you're at and the platform that you continue to build out for yourself. But you always say that you always take it upon yourself to respond to everybody, and I think that's really impressive at the level that you're at, Don. So much props to you for doing that, because a lot of fashion designers do not do that, and that's definitely factual information. So.
Well, thank you. It's, you never know where people are going to be in the next year or 2 years, 3 years. You never know
Right.
Where that influence is going to take you. So that's real important.
What's on the docket for you this emerging weekend as we approach 5 o'clock here on the West Coast and the Northwest to kick off our weekend and let the fun begin? So what will Dawn be doing this weekend? Hopefully not fashion-related things.
Well, you know what? Spring is here, and so you know what? I got to work on my garden.
Yeah.
I have to say. So I'm enjoying the great outdoors here. I have a ranch, and we have some acreage, and so it's really beautiful. Currently raining, but that just means that the plants will grow. Everything's green, everything's fresh, and maybe we'll see a little bit of sun, and I'm sure that we all want to get outside and go hike, go enjoy the great outdoors that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. So.
I had an opportunity, Erica, my show producer, showed me a couple pictures of your ranch, and it's breathtaking. It's beautiful. Maybe one day we'll have the opportunity to, who knows, maybe we'll do a little live broadcast from the ranch and do a Don Mostow, Dirty Harry show out there with Studio 110.live and get the crew out there and really make it a fun event, if that's something that you think could be cool to do, so.
Oh, well, you're welcome to. We have an amphitheater in the back. We have a forested area with a natural stone amphitheater you can seat about 100. So we're working on a stage there, and it'll be a pretty good venue. We also have the saloon and the log cabin, so you can take your pick.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Well, I appreciate you again, Dawn, for coming on, and we've got you were the last celebrity guest on today. We kicked off today's show with Ben and Brennan from Zima Marketing, and of course Nick, and he'll be coming in next week to make a big announcement. We're going to be doing some sort of fun things together, but I've been told that I don't even know about it. If I knew about it, I'd because everybody likes to leak information out, but I will keep it within, because I don't even actually know everything that they're working on here for the big old show at Studio 110.live. So excited to have them on, and then I just had Walter Thurman on, who, by the way, Don, I'll have to connect you and Walter up. He's also a very fashionable type of guy. He played for the Seattle Seahawks, and he still owns a ring to this day. Represented the year that we got the job done, and then got picked up by New York, and now he's got a brand called Fan Stereo that you should check out, and I'm sure we could get you out a little care package so you can be jamming out with some nice headphones when you're making gear for whoever you're making it for. So we'll work on that offline, Don.
Well, that sounds sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and tell your husband I said hello. You're a household full of successful people, and maybe one day we'll be able to get him on and talk about everything that he's doing in his industry. I was intrigued the day that you introduced me to him, so I think there's a lot to talk to good old Mr. Mostow about. So
yeah, I'm sure he'd love to be on.
That'd be great. Well, listen, have a wonderful weekend. I hope the gardening suits you well. I definitely need to do some as well. So hopefully it won't be raining, and the gloves will do the job, so we don't have to wash and scrub our hands for 2 hours afterwards. And we will be in contact, and we will speak again soon, Don.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Don Mostow here on the line here at Studio 110.live, an iconic, very humble, very well-respected fashion design here from the Pacific Northwest. Made stuff for Beyonce several times. Made stuff for Katy Perry, Pink. And she didn't mention it, but I'm pretty sure she also had the opportunity to maybe do some stuff with Gaga. I could be wrong, but I thought I heard her say that. But she's always really fun to talk to, and she's definitely got her pulse on what's going on right now within the local fashion scene. So it's always great to get, I like talking to all different types of designers, up and coming, emerging, massively successful, like Don, and just everybody as a collective effort. Before I get into my major announcement, I want to be on time. I'm showing I got about 3 minutes before I make this announcement. I hope you all have just a wonderful weekend out there. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have a safe, fun weekend, whether you're going to go out to the clubs or hanging out with your family or your friends, or maybe you have family coming in town or going out and trying a new restaurant. If you're trying a new restaurant, went with a couple of the guys here from Studio 110.live's headquarters. One of my favorite spots, an iconic spot. It's called and I know this won't be relatable to our national audience and to people even internationally, but there is a spot called the Salmon House. And it's in Seattle, and they have in my opinion, it's an award-winning salmon burger sandwich, whatever the heck they're going to call it. But that's kind of my go-to spot for good old happy hour. And there's many good food establishments, new and up-and-coming spots. There's a hummus bar on Capitol Hill called Aviv. That if you don't know about that, you should know about that. Really good homemade hummus, like they do over there in the Middle East. So check that out, and feel free to reach out to us on our show's Instagram. If you've got a platform and it's worthy for the screeners here, headed up by Erica, my show producer, to get you on here on the air with me here at Studio 110.live, we're open to that. Whether you're in the car automotive side, fashion, technology, nightlife, pop culture, music, venues. I mean, we got a lot of people reaching out to us because that's the type of business that we're in here at Studio 110.live in partnership with FutureNet.club to have these partnerships and alliances. Like Walter mentioned, it's just about surrounding yourself with good people, good positive people that can uplift you and spread that positive growth and that positive messaging. That's ultimately what it's about, and that's what the team here at Studio 110.live strives for every day, to put out the best product that we can continue to do Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. Eventually, we're going to extend the show, but right now a 2-hour talk show is sufficient for me, and Erica works extremely hard behind the scenes to book all the guests with the team in cooperation with Erica. So we got a lot of really fun, exciting things that we're working on here that will be debuting next week. I know we have 2 major announcements as well next week, but let's focus on the major announcement that I've been teasing all afternoon. I've been teasing this week. I'm showing it's 3 o'clock right now here in Bellevue, downtown Bellevue, where the show is broadcasted from. All right, I'm super excited. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this? Look, a lot of us don't like our bosses. A lot of us are in dysfunctional, messed up relationships. A lot of us just aren't happy when we should be happy. We should be always happy, right? Life's too short not to be happy. So guess what we're doing here at Studio 110.live in partnership with FutureNet.club. Everybody here, my guy Cristiano, Pierre, Ryan, Aaron, everybody here on the entire team, Erica, myself, Dirty Harry, we're super excited to announce the 2018 Laugh Your Ass Off Comedy Jam coming to the Pacific Northwest. June 30th, ladies and gentlemen, June 30th. The Laugh Your Ass Comedy Jam. Tickets go on sale this Monday. ShoWare Center, 3 p.m. All you got to do is go to the ShoWare Center, go to their box office, hit them up on their website, buy those tickets. They're going to go quick. ShoWare Center in Kent. I'm told here from the staff here, I'll be giving away pairs of tickets, free pairs of tickets every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock on this show, giving you tickets. Now let's talk about the lineup. Now let's get to business now. My guy, been on the air with me several times back at the former radio station, Bill Bellamy, ladies and gentlemen, at the Laugh Your Ass Off Comedy Jam, starring Bill Bellamy. My guy, D. Ray Davis, hosted by Dion Cole. Man, what a host he is, man. He will put you in tears. Ada Rodriguez, and look, the list continues to go on. Go big or go home, ladies and gentlemen. That's the business that we're in here at Studio 110.live and FutureNet.club. The headliner, the man, Marlon Wayans. Man, it's been a while since he's been out here. Headliner, Marlon Wayans. And, of course, Melanie Camacho. She will be in the building. Man, what a lineup. We got Bill Bellamy, D. Ray Davis, Dion Cole, Ada Rodriguez, Marlon Wayans, Melanie Camacho, man, a star-studded lineup. You're not going to want to miss this event. Be there, Laugh Your Ass Off Comedy Jam, June 30th. We're coming for you, baby. Tickets go on sale this Monday, 3 p.m., ShoWare Center in Kent. I'll be giving away tickets Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for right now, 2 o'clock hour. Spread it on your IGs. Spread it on your Facebooks. I want it to be dinner table conversation. I want to be at venues this weekend hearing people say, hey, did you hear Dirty Harry's major announcement on the show Friday afternoon, the Laugh Your Ass Off Comedy Jam? It's coming, baby. Support us. Get those tickets, because you know what? It will sell out. And like I always have told all the years that I announced Summer Jam, when they're sold out, they're sold out. And you know what? We ain't going to be having you line out here, line up out the door here at our headquarters here at Studio 110.live. They ain't going to cut it. That's not going to happen. Laugh Your Ass Off Comedy Jam, June 30th. Tickets go on sale Monday, 3 p.m., ShoWare Center in Kent. Go to the box office. Do whatever you got to do. We'll see you out there, and we'll see you back here on the air, audio visual, Studio 110.live, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. Have a great weekend, y'all. Be safe out there, and I'll see you. Thanks to my show producer, Erica, and the entire staff here at FutureNet.Club. Good night, y'all.